Martin is better. Just to help out.
83, 84, 85, 85, 6, 87, 87, 8, 8, 88, 9, 95, 90, 1, 91, 2, 92, 3, 93, 4, 95.
Some love stories don't begin with warmth or laughter. They start in silence, with cracked hands, cold mornings, and the stubborn land that refuses to change. This is God's own country, a story of loneliness, desire, and the slow rebirth of a man who thought he'd forgotten how to feel. In the bleak hills of Yorkshire, a young farmer named Johnny Saxby starts another frozen dawn. His alarm cuts through the dark at 4 a.m. He drags himself from bed, slips into boots still damp from the previous day, and steps outside where frost coats every blade of grass. The wind stings his face. Sheep move somewhere beyond the fog. The valley feels endless and empty. Inside the stone farmhouse, Deirdre, his grandmother, brews tea while Martin, his father, struggles to dress. A stroke months ago left him partly paralyzed, and his frustration hangs in every sigh. Deirdre keeps her worry hidden under a stern calm. They depend on Johnny, and he knows it. He works without complaint, cleaning stalls, repairing fences, hauling feed. Yet behind his hard stare is exhaustion that runs deeper than the mud under his boots. When the day ends, he escapes to the village pub. Pints disappear fast. He drinks not to celebrate, but to forget. The weight of the farm, the silence of home, the absence of anything resembling joy. Outside, under orange streetlights, he meets strangers. Rough, hurried encounters behind barns or cars. No tenderness, no names, just release. Then he stumbles home, alone again, to start over at dawn. Life for Johnny is a circle of work, beer, and emptiness. Lambing season is near, the hardest stretch of the year. Martin insists they can't manage alone. Johnny scoffs. Pride's the only thing he owns, but Martin makes the call anyway. A few days later, a dusty truck rattles up the lane. A man steps out, tall, dark-haired, with eyes that notice everything. "This is Gheorghe," Martin says. "He'll help with the lambing." Johnny nods once, already resentful. A foreign worker, another reminder he can't handle his own land. Gheorghe carries one small bag. He thanks them quietly, his accent soft but distinct. His calmness unsettles Johnny, like still water hiding depth. From the start, Gheorghe works differently. He handles the sheep with patience, fixes tools Johnny would have thrown away, moves through the fields as if he belongs there. Johnny's irritation grows. Every skill Gheorghe shows feels like judgment. At dinner, Deirdre watches them both. "You could learn from him," she tells Johnny. Johnny doesn't answer. He drains his mug and walks out.
What about this mess?
In the dark barn, he lights a cigarette and stares at the horizon. For the first time, he feels something strange, the sense that his world is about to shift. When the lambing peaks, Martin sends both men to the high pastures, remote land where the flock needs round-the-clock care. They pack food, blankets, tools, and drive until the roads turn to dirt tracks. The valley opens into rolling emptiness, stone walls slicing through grasslands that stretch forever. They unload at a small stone hut, roof half caved, one stove, two bunks. It smells of smoke and sheep. Johnny grumbles, "Bloody freezing." Gheorghe only shrugs. It's not so bad. That first night, rain hammers the roof. Johnny lies awake listening to Gheorghe's slow breathing. The closeness unnerves him. Morning brings gray skies and long hours. Gheorghe moves with quiet precision, checking ewes, guiding lambs. Johnny follows, working fast but careless. Then they find it. A newborn lamb collapsed in mud, barely alive. Johnny mutters, "It's done." But Gheorghe kneels, lifts the tiny body, and tucks it inside his jacket. "Not yet," he whispers. Back at the hut, he feeds it warm milk through a tube, holds it near the fire, murmuring in Romanian. Johnny watches, pretending not to care. But something about the way Gheorghe's hands move, gentle, steady, stays with him. The lamb lives. That night, as rain taps the window, Johnny glances toward Gheorghe and the small animal sleeping beside him. For the first time, the silence between them feels less like distance and more like waiting. 2 nights later, the weather turns vicious. Wind screams across the moor, rain slices sideways. They hurry to gather the flock, struggling through mud and darkness. When a lamb bolts, Johnny chases, slips, curses. Gheorghe catches up, grabs his arm. "Careful!" he shouts.
Do not call me that. I know what you're doing.
Johnny jerks free. "Don't tell me what to do!" Anger flares, weeks of tension exploding at once. Johnny shoves him. Gheorghe shoves back. They grapple, slam into mud, fists landing, breaths short and violent. Then suddenly, the fight shifts. The fury melts into something deeper. Their eyes lock, the rain pounds, neither moves. And then, wordlessly, they kiss, rough, hungry, defiant. The storm howls around them, but in that moment nothing exists beyond their breath and the heat between them. They stumble back into the hut, dripping wet, shaking. The first touch becomes another, then another. Anger turning to urgency, urgency to need. It's not soft, not gentle, but it's honest. For the first time, Johnny feels alive. Morning brings quiet. The hills shine with rain, mist curling over the grass. Neither man speaks. But when Gheorghe hands Johnny a mug of tea, their fingers brush. Johnny doesn't pull away. The days stretch peacefully. Work, food, sleep, and something unspoken growing between them. They move in rhythm now. Johnny rough but learning, Gheorghe patient and sure.
Might stop you getting keylogged on a nightly basis and all.
I have a few pints in the night time, so what? What else am I meant to do apart from work? Like, there's fuck all else going on around here, is there?
I keep a lid on that if I were you.
In the evenings, Gheorghe cooks over the stove. Johnny watches, fascinated by the small rituals. The way Gheorghe tastes the stew, wipes his hands, hums softly under his breath. One night, Gheorghe dampens a cloth and gently wipes mud from Johnny's face. Johnny sits still, eyes wide, unused to care that doesn't come with conditions. "Why are you doing that?" he mutters. "Because you're dirty," Gheorghe smiles. Johnny laughs, a sound we haven't heard before. Outside, stars fill the sky. The two sit shoulder to shoulder, sharing cigarettes. Johnny asks about Romania. Gheorghe tells him about his village, the mountains, the people who left. His voice softens, his eyes flicker with memory. Johnny listens, then admits, "Never been anywhere." Gheorghe looks at him. "Then maybe someday you will." The wind sweeps over them. For once, Johnny doesn't feel cold. When the lambing finishes, they load the truck and head back down. The valley below seems smaller, less harsh. Deirdre scolds them for being late. Martin asks how many lambs they lost. Johnny answers, "None," and glances at Gheorghe. They share a faint smile, but routine returns quickly. Chores, silence, exhaustion. Gheorghe moves into the caravan near the barn. Johnny pretends nothing's changed, yet every glance toward the fields pulls him back to that hut, to warmth he can't explain. That night, when the house goes dark, he slips outside. The door of the caravan creaks open. Gheorghe steps aside. They stand in silence before leaning in. A kiss, brief and real. Their secret continues.
Just to help out.
Days of work, nights of quiet intimacy, a stolen world hidden inside the noise of duty. But cracks begin to form. Martin's health worsens. Another stroke scare. Deirdre grows sterner.
Doctor's just been round. Young coloured lass, nice little thing. Said a second stroke's quite common after what Dad's been through. Said it could be to do with the stress.
Bills pile up. Johnny feels the weight again, heavier than before. He drinks. He lashes out. Gheorghe tries to help, but Johnny's fear of being seen twists into anger. Still, Gheorghe stays money until one morning something breaks. Also, if you love celebrating queer cinema as much as we do, visit our new store. We've got exclusive LGBTQ+ movie posters and stickers inspired by the films we talk about. Every purchase helps support the channel. One gray morning, Gheorghe discovers a tiny lamb lying stiff in the barn. It had frozen during the night, a night when Johnny never came to check because he'd been drinking in town. Gheorghe's jaw tightens. He lifts the lifeless lamb, cradling it once before laying it down gently on straw. When Johnny enters, still smelling of beer, Gheorghe's voice is sharp. "You said you'd look in on them." Johnny shrugs. "It's one lamb." "One life," Gheorghe snaps. "One you could have saved." The tension that had been building for weeks bursts open. Johnny pushes past him. Gheorghe shoves back. Anger turns to shouts, shouts to violence. But there's no desire left this time, only disappointment. Gheorghe stares at him, the man who hides every emotion behind a wall of silence, and realizes he can't keep trying to break through. Without another word, he leaves. The door slams, echoing through the valley like the end of a storm. Johnny wakes alone the next morning. The caravan stands open, rain pooling on its step. Inside, everything is gone. No clothes, no tools, no Gheorghe. He wanders through the farmyard, calling his name once, twice, but only crows answer. The house feels emptier than ever. He sits by the fire, beer in hand, staring at nothing. The lamb's small body still lies outside, half buried in straw. Days pass in silence. Johnny returns to his routine, feeding, cleaning, fixing, but every sound reminds him of Gheorghe. The clink of dishes, the creak of the door, even the smell of the fields. Then one afternoon, Martin collapses again. A second stroke. Johnny rushes to his side, terrified. He and Deirdre manage to get him into bed. His father's face, pale and still, jolts Johnny awake in a way nothing else could. He sits there through the night holding the old man's hand. And as dawn creeps in, Johnny realizes he's been angry at everything except the thing that matters, himself. In the weeks that follow, Johnny works differently. He stops drinking. He wakes early. He fixes fences properly, cleans the barn until it shines, nurses the animals with care. The same land that once felt like punishment begins to look alive again. Each repair, each mended wall feels like atonement. Sometimes he catches Deirdre watching from the window. She doesn't say it, but the hint of pride in her eyes is new. Still, the silence between him and Gheorghe stretches like an open wound. Every night when he locks the barn, he glances toward the empty caravan. One evening, Deirdre breaks the quiet. She sits across from him at the kitchen table, the ticking clock loud between them. "Gheorghe rang," she says softly. Johnny freezes. He asked if he should come back? Her next words cut deep. "I told him no." Johnny's head lifts slowly. "Why?" he whispers. Deirdre sighs. "You were a mess. The farm, your father, I thought it best." Johnny stands up, trembling with something between grief and determination. He leaves without another word, coat thrown over his shoulder. He drives through endless miles of countryside, mud splattering the windshield. Farm after farm. He asks everyone if they've seen a Romanian worker named Gheorghe.
Do they call thee Gheorghe or something?
Gheorghe.
Whatever, get in.
Some shrug, some shake their heads. Finally, near a distant hillside, he spots him. Gheorghe is stacking bales, his sleeves rolled, his hair wind-tossed. Johnny stops the truck, steps out slowly. Neither speaks. The air between them is heavy, filled with the ghosts of everything left unsaid. Johnny finally breaks the silence. "I've fixed the house," he says. "Cleaned it, made it right." He swallows. "It's for us, if you'll come." Gheorghe studies him, the man who once mocked him now standing raw and honest. "I can't do this again," he says quietly. Johnny's voice cracks. "I want you there, with me, properly." For the first time, there's no pride, no walls, only truth. Gheorghe exhales, the hardness fading from his eyes. Then softly, "Let's go home." They drive back through mist-covered fields. The same landscape, but somehow softer. When they reach the farm, Gheorghe doesn't head for the caravan. He walks straight into the house. Deirdre looks up from the kitchen. For a heartbeat, no one moves. Then she nods once and sets another plate on the table. No speeches, no apologies, just quiet understanding. The two men start rebuilding. They scrub the walls, mend broken windows, bring life back into every corner. Johnny works beside Gheorghe now, matching his patience, learning his rhythm. At night, they cook together. Steam fills the kitchen, laughter mixing with the sound of rain outside. Slowly, the house becomes a home. One afternoon, Johnny stands by his father's room. Gheorghe lingers behind him, hesitant. Johnny takes a breath and steps inside. Martin lies awake, frail but alert. Johnny clears his throat. "Dad, this is Gheorghe." The room is still. Martin looks at them, then at their joined hands. A long pause, and then, slowly, he nods. That small gesture, that silent blessing, carries the weight of generations. Johnny exhales, a lifetime of shame leaving in one breath. Weeks pass. Spring unfurls across Yorkshire. The hills that once looked gray now glow with green. Lambs tumble through the grass. Sunlight warms the stones. Johnny and Gheorghe work side by side. Laughter echoing faintly across the valley. They rebuild the old wall together, stone by stone. Johnny places each rock carefully, the way Gheorghe taught him. When they finish, Gheorghe plants flowers by the doorstep, tiny bursts of color against the rugged walls. Johnny watches, smiling quietly. At night, they sit by the fire. Gheorghe reads from his notebook. Johnny leans against him, eyes half closed. It's not grand, it's not perfect, but it's real. Morning light spills through the window. Gheorghe cooks breakfast, humming softly. Johnny walks in, kisses his shoulder, and pours tea. Outside, the wind still blows, but the house no longer feels cold. He looks out over the fields, the same land he once hated, and finally understands what Gheorghe meant up on the hill. The land doesn't change for you, you change for it. Every breath, every sunrise, every act of care becomes part of something larger. Gheorghe steps beside him, their hands brushing.
It's best I will just go to sleep tonight.
Make sure the emotions off and all.
Want another?
I haven't finished that one yet.
Do you have antiseptic?
This is home now, Johnny says. It always was, Gheorghe replies. The last lambs are born. Johnny kneels to help one stand. Small, trembling, alive. He smiles as it takes its first step. Gheorghe watches from behind the fence, pride and love blending in his gaze. Later, they walk the fields together. The wind catches their laughter, carrying it across the moor. No grand music, no speeches, just two men who found peace in a place that once only gave them pain. The camera drifts outward. The farm, the valley, the endless horizon. The same God's own country, now reborn through their hands. If you're enjoying these hidden gems, consider supporting the channel by becoming a member. You'll get early access to videos and join a community of true film lovers.
It's a bit of a mid-in, like. That thing unfolds out in a like-a-bed thing.
You're gonna wait until Johnny Boy's back, aren't you? Good lass.
Hold up, mate. All right. How's you? Want to get a pint or something?
Inside the farmhouse, Gheorghe unpacks a small photo of his family. He sets it on the mantel. Johnny places a vase of wildflowers beside it. Yellow, violet, white, colors that never used to belong in this house. The fire crackles. Johnny leans back, resting his head on Gheorghe's shoulder. Outside, the fields whisper with wind and new life. No one says, "I love you." They don't need to. Every look, every touch, every small kindness says it for them. The story closes on this, not with endings or promises, but with presence. A man once broken by isolation, now whole. A land once barren, now blooming. And love, quiet but unyielding, alive in the heart of God's own country. Grab LGBTQ+ movie posters and stickers from our brand new store. Link in the description. So, which of these hidden gems will you stream first? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Good. Now we can get on with the work. Yes? Yeah.
Come on, you tightwad. I'm just a poor student. Come on.
Hey, get the fuck out of my pub, you dirty little bastard! All right.
Get out of the way, you useless piece of shite.
Hey, it's not her fault.
I've got that antiseptic for the sheep.
That's good.
Aye. She's doing a lot better.
Good.